Shalom. The first agreement I want to discuss very briefly is the agreement of racial boundaries. The reason I'm talking about this is because this is something that goes quite deep, and it's also something that many people just refuse to discuss and they don't want to talk about. And I'm not just talking about people from Europe or white Americans. I'm also talking about blacks, because there's also racism amongst blacks about which black individual is less black than the other. And there's also racism in places like China and also in Japan. Well, you have certain minority groups of native Japanese who are often looked down upon. So the whole thing about race is that it doesn't exist, you see. You do have groups of people, ethnic groups, that have certain biological traits, like they have a recessive gene of blonde hair, or they have a gene of blue eyes or green eyes. So yes, you do have genetic characteristics in certain homogeneous groups, and look, they're still part of the human race, of humanity, okay? They're not separate races, because someone that's blonde-haired and blue-eyed can easily get a child with some black African from somewhere in the woods of Zaire, for example. So they're both humans. They can mate together and reproduce, okay? The thing is, the whole concept of race in the Western world was introduced during the 18th century. And the thing is, the idea of racism is very much older than that. It goes all the way back to ancient times, and was fully introduced by the Romans. However, modern racism developed during the 18th century, which was called the Age of Enlightenment, is also where many mystical societies, modern mystical societies developed, like the Illuminati, like modern Freemasonry, and all of that. And the whole idea of race was to preserve Caucasian white nations. Why? They are a minority, and because of their recessive genes, they can become extinct if they don't preserve their biological heritage. So that was the idea behind the term race, okay? However, in Europe during that time, they would use the term race for the German race, the British race, the French race, and other countries didn't deserve to be called a race. It was based upon political and military power. In the Americas, it was used for a distinction between the Caucasian whites and the blacks and Native Americans. So, and today, this whole idea of race continues, but it has no basis whatsoever in reality. There's no evidence to back up separate races. They don't exist. Yet many people, they keep agreeing with race relations. And behind every race relation, there is an accusation of one so-called race against the other. That's one form of accusation you need to be delivered from. Let go of this whole myth of race, because there are a lot of curses and demons attached to it. Well, that being said, y'all, in my next video I'll talk about another type of agreements that believers should not get engaged in. Shalom.